What's going on? What do you guys want? We have a DBS show. A big DBS show, but there's no Tony. Okay, Barry Jones. I get it. Well, for now, I want to rest because we have a big show tomorrow, 3 world title fights. So if you don't mind, Mr. Cameraman, leave me alone. See you tomorrow. We've travelled to the heart of the United Arab Emirates, nuzzled beside the Persian Gulf as the DAZN boxing show goes international to build up to a massive fight card on Saturday night, headlined by the light heavyweight showdown between Dmitry Bivol and Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. Welcome everyone to the DAZN boxing show here in the wonderful Abu Dhabi. I turn around as though this signifies Abu Dhabi. I don't know if it does, but it does look beautiful behind me, doesn't it? Barry Jones with us as well, former world champion. Is this your boxing show debut? Is it?
Yes, it is.
It is, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for ages and I'm so excited. And what a venue.
What a venue indeed. It's going to be a great night of boxing on Saturday. Let's go straight to it. The main event, Dmitry Bivol versus Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, WBA light heavyweight title on the line. Wow. Oh. This is one of those that you feel like, will it get made? Will it get made? It's now here and I'm like, I can't believe it's happening. Yeah,
it's just one of those fights where you just can't see it being anything but a really exciting fight.
Yeah.
It's not quite 50-50, but it's very, very competitive.
What is it then, 60-40?
I think so. I think you have to make Bivol the favourite. I think just on body of work and stylistically, I think, as well. But still, Zurdo, he's been massive for a super middleweight. He moves to the light heavyweight. He's still been quite comfortable and looked good at that weight. So he'll be a real problem for Bivol.
Yeah. Bivol looked so good, didn't he, against Canelo? Last time out, underdog in that fight, and he proved everyone, I say he proved everyone wrong. There are a lot of boxing people that thought he was going to give Canelo problems, but he made it look easy in there at times.
Yeah, I was one of those ones who didn't think that he would give Canelo too many problems. I thought it'd be difficult because of the size, but I underestimated the boxing IQ of Bivol, because he's quite straightforward the way he throws his punches. You just think, actually, just it's the same thing all the time. So if you get him up his rhythm, he's gonna suffer. But actually, he was clever how he let Canelo unload. As soon as Canelo took that little break, like he always does, he followed him out with straight, hard shots. And that just took the energy right out of the Canelo, and he suffered after that.
Is it easier going in as the underdog like he did against Canelo, where, as I said to him at the time, 99% of the crowd are with Canelo. A lot of people thought Canelo was going to win, as opposed to this time where he is the favourite. He might have the crowd as well behind him this time round.
I think it's different. I think that sort of fight, you think being the underdog would be better, but it's the magnitude of what the fight is. When you're not used to that sort of intense pressure of crowd and media attention, then it has to take an effect on you. That's his first time. Now, I think he goes in off the back of that huge win. Yeah. When no one really gave him a chance, let's be honest. Yeah. Now he goes in full of confidence. I think him being a favourite and him being the champion will be a plus. Yeah,
look, Beterbiev is recognised as the #1 in the division, and rightly so. Right, he has all the belts bar one, the one obviously that Bivol has. If Bivol does get past, and it's a big if, because Zurdo is a formidable opponent, does he go the Canelo route or does he go undisputed Beterbiev?
Well, as a boxing fan, I'd like to see him go undisputed. Yeah. But for financial gain, you've got to say Canelo. Yeah. And you couldn't blame him for that. It's a huge fight, and he'd get a bigger piece of the pie this time around. So you'd have to take that fight. But I still would, for me, as a neutral as such, I'd love to see the Beterbiev fight. That's a real huge fight again.
How far are the Brits away from Bivol? We've seen Craig Richards going against him. Buatsi's here on the weekend. Yeah. Buatsi obviously wanted that Bivol fight. You have got Yard around as well. Callum Johnson, let's not forget him. How far are those away from the elite in the division?
Callum Smith, not forget him. He's moved up, hasn't he, now, and looked really good. I don't think they're that far off. I think the problem is if any one of those got a world title shot, they're deserving of it. The problem they have is Beterbiev is an absolute monster, and Bivol is so clever. Yeah. And so they just got two really very good champions at that weight, and that's unfortunate for them, I would say. So I wouldn't put any of those to beat him, either one of those right now, but they would be deserving of the chance. Yeah, Beterbiev takes on Yard in January. Bivol has his work to do this Saturday. Remember, it is live on DAZN. I caught up with both Dmitry Bivol and Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. Let's hear from the challenger first, the unbeaten Zurdo Ramirez, remember 44-0, former WBO super middleweight champion. What a fight we have Saturday night. It's one of those fights that
you want to happen, but unfortunately with boxing sometimes you don't really get, but we get it this Saturday live on DAZN. Dmitry Bivol puts his WBA light heavyweight strap on the line against this man, the unbeaten Zurdo Ramirez, 44-0. Don't forget as well, the former WBO super middleweight champion. We were just speaking there, and we said this is a 50-50 fight. This is what boxing needs, big 50-50 fights.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, of course. That's the type of people need to see. And that's the type of fight we need to give to the fans. And I mean, the best has to fight the best, and people need to see those type of fights.
And you are one of the best out there. A lot of people have said that it's taken you so long to get these big opportunities. No one wants to fight you on a voluntary, so you've had to work your way to mandatory to get this opportunity. Why has it taken so long for you to get the big fights?
Well, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm glad to be here right now. I did a 2-eliminator fight to get here, and I'm so glad for this big opportunity for me to do the statement this Saturday night, and I will take the belt. That's for sure. I've been prepared myself. I've been prepared my soul to take another soul this Saturday night and take the belt.
Do you think you've been avoided? There are a lot of fighters in boxing that I think 100% people don't want to fight them. Do you think you're one of those fighters that people have avoided over the years?
Well, I don't think that the fighters, we didn't avoid anyone. I think the
fighters will fight, right? Yeah.
The promoters, sometimes they try to do something different, but it's business for them. But as a fighter, we want to fight with the best and fight each other, and that's all. We want the legacy. We want to be a legend, and that's the type of fight that we need to see.
Yeah, certainly. Final question. Give me a prediction for Saturday. How does it play out? Is it points? Are you going for the knockout? We know you've got the power. Your record says you've got power. He's got power as well. Do you think you can stop Bivol?
I think I can stop him. But who knows? I will try everything. I will try to hurt him. I will try to take everything, have in my power to make the statement this Saturday, obviously. And I'm glad. I just want to say thank you. Muchas gracias a toda la gente por el apoyo. No se pierdan la pelea, noviembre 5 aquí en Abu Dhabi, DAZN, y nuevo campeón del mundo. Viva México, cabrones.
I wish I understood Spanish. What he said there sounded so wonderful. What I will say, though, is this. Someone's O has got to go on Saturday, 44-0. Zurdo Ramirez puts his unbeaten record on the line. Dmitry Bivol's also unbeaten. The WBA light heavyweight title, what a fight we have. Ramirez versus Bivol this Saturday, live on DAZN. The champ is here. We're joined by the WBA light heavyweight champ, Dmitry Bivol, takes on Zurdo Ramirez. This weekend, remember, is live on DAZN from a magnificent venue as well here in Abu Dhabi. How are you, Dmitry? You looking good?
I am good. I'm great. Looking forward to the fight the Saturday night.
You're so relaxed. Like, this is a big fight. It's going to be a hard fight. It's difficult, but you seem to be so calm.
I try to be. Of course, the fire is inside of me. I feel it, but I try to be relaxed, and I have to be stronger on Saturday night. I don't have just waste my energy and emotion.
You've had some tough fights in your career, some big fights. Obviously, the last fight was very, very big. Do you think this will be your toughest fight?
I told it on the press conference that I try to think about that this next fight, it's toughest fight in my career. It helps me to be focused, you know. And he's one of the toughest fight, I think, because my opponent is a great fighter. Yeah. He's tall, he's southpaw, he's confident, he's good.
Look, I don't want to look past Ramirez, but if you do beat Ramirez and you were offered Canelo or Beterbiev, which one do you take?
I told it before, my prefer. I want to move forward. Canelo, it's my past.
It's in the back.
You know? You can earn money, of course, it's great. I love money like everyone loves, but it's not my priority thing when I think about boxing, you know. I think about achieve something, and when you achieve something, money will come too.
Against Canelo, I saw so many different styles from you. You was on the back foot, you was on the front foot, you threw a lot of combinations. What can we expect from you on Saturday?
You know, I saw my kids fight. It was 1990 8 maybe, you know.
The amateur fights.
Amateur fights, yeah. And I saw it similar style, you know. It was more than 20 years.
Yeah.
I tried to
Same
change
Bivol.
I tried to change many things, but similar Bivol, you know. I just wanna be my best, my best version, yeah. And I wanna show all my best sides.
And maybe your best will be good enough on Saturday. It should. The best Dmitry Bivol.
Yeah, I believe that if I show the best sides on Saturday night, I will win. I believe in that.
Yeah, so do I. So do I as well.
Yeah,
Dmitry Bivol against Zurdo Ramirez this weekend. Remember, this Saturday, live on DAZN. He's wonderful. Can we get that belt? Can I have that belt? This wonderful, shiny, very heavy WBA light heavyweight belt will be on the line this Saturday, live on DAZN. Make sure you tune in for it. Heavy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like going to the gym. Thank you. Great to hear from both Dmitry Bivol and Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. That's the main event. The co-main event is also a cracking fight. Someone will become undisputed at 140 pounds. Chantel Cameron, who has 2 belts in the weight class, takes on the 147-pound undisputed champ coming down to 140, Jessica McCaskill. Let's hear from both fighters, starting with Chantel Cameron. So many big fights this weekend, live on DAZN. This one, I think, is one of the ones that everyone is excited about. Chantel Cameron takes on Jessica McCaskill for all the marbles at 140 pounds. Before we get into that, first female world title fight over here as well in the Middle East. That must be exciting to know that you're going to be the first. That's it, forever, it's you.
Yeah, it's so exciting. What a place to be and what a place to fight, let alone for Undisputed. It's just such an amazing event, and the people here are lovely, the country's beautiful.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm flying. It's fight week, but I'm in a really good place as well.
You feel like that? I've said that just off camera to you. You feel like you're in a good space. You look like you're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I've been ready to go for a while now. I've been held back a bit in the gym because Jerry and Nigel want me peaking too soon. I'm hungry and ready to get the party started. It's
been a strange 12 months, hasn't it? I mean, since that Mary McGee fight, and everyone thought, okay, look, it's going to be Callie Reese next, and everyone expected after the McGee performance for you to be fighting Callie Reese for undisputed 5-6 months later. You've had to wait your time. You had that Bustos fight, and now Jessica McCaskill. No one expected that. I know it's a fight you wanted, but no one really expected Jessica McCaskill to come back down to 140.
Yeah, so obviously I was in the tournament, and that was very exciting because it was the first tournament as well for females and for the Undisputed. So it's a shame that tournament didn't carry out, but everything happens for a reason. And I had my fight in May, which was kind of like keep me busy.
That was easy work for you.
Yeah,
that was easy work.
I had fun in there.
Yeah,
it was good, but I also learned a lot from it as well. And I think maybe that fight was a blessing for coming into this fight because I feel like I've got better again. I feel like I've improved again. And I've had really good sparring with the lads in the gym. Yeah. And if you're in a gym full of world-class lads, when it comes to fighting females and having good spars with the lads, your confidence is going to be flying. It's natural. So, yeah, I'm in a really good place.
What'd you make of McCaskill? Obviously, look, undisputed at 147. I think a tougher fight for you than Callie Reese would have been. Is that fair? Is that a fair statement?
I think Callie Reese is a very good boxer. Yeah. That's the difference. McCaskill's more of a... She's raw. She's good at what she does, but she's raw and she's not very skillful.
Bit of a brawler.
Yeah, she's a brawler. Whereas Callie Reese, like, she's got a lot of skill. A lot of skill. I rate Callie Reese a lot, but on paper this is a harder fight because obviously McCaskill's 147 undisputed. Yeah. She's a brawler. She gets messy inside. But look, she's undisputed at 147, so naturally that's straight away that's a harder fight.
Jessica McCaskill, undisputed at 147 pounds, looks to become undisputed at 140 pounds. You've won titles there before. It's not like you've never been to this weight class before. Right. How are you feeling, though, about coming down to 140? You've been above that weight now for, what, 2-3 years? Yeah,
I've been at 145. All the fights are contracted at 145, so coming down to 140, it's not really a big deal. And the training regimen that Rick Ramos puts us through, I mean, you have to eat no matter what weight you're at. So I've been eating a lot, and everything's been really good. Yeah. What do you make of Chantel as a competitor? I mean, when I sort of thought of this match, I never really thought about you versus Chantel. It never was a fight that I thought could happen, although it was only one weight class difference. Do you think of her as a top competitor? She is, isn't she? Well, she's won some belts, and so that puts her at the top ranks. You know, no matter what anybody says, she has world titles, so that puts her there. But funny that you should say that because we actually were going to fight her before I won my first WBC belt. Okay. She didn't want to fight. I got my belt. She wanted to fight, but I had some other things to do, and then she won belt. So we all came full circle on this.
So I feel like, and I could be wrong, I feel like you're almost disrespected when it comes to female boxing. No, I really do. Like, a lot of people talk about the top female fighters, and I think people forget the work you've done. You know, winning titles at 140, beating Cecilia Brackos at the time was pound for pound #1 in a lot of people's eyes. Do you feel like that as well sometimes?
Yeah, I feel like people don't. They say I can't do this massive, huge thing, and then I do it, and then they make excuses for why I did it. And you know, we have great timing and great planning. Rick Ramos puts in a lot of work on the management side and figures out who I should be fighting, and they're always top names, top bill type people undisputed, people undefeated. So we're not afraid to take big fights at all. And you know, I think people kind of don't like the way we do things. You know, we don't really do what people say to do. We make our own path, and sometimes they kind of shy away from us because of that.
There's been so much conversation recently about pound for pound discussions, right? It's been the GOAT, Clarissa Shields versus Katie Taylor. If you do become double undisputed, where do you think you are in those pound for pound discussions?
Nobody else is double undisputed except for Clarissa Shields, so that has to put me on #2, right? I mean, it just makes sense. I don't know. So, I mean, people love to put me in their like bottom 5, and they don't, you know, take into consideration the undisputed people I beat, the undefeated people that I've beaten, multiple belts at 140 and undisputed at 147, going back down to 140, and now we're going to be going up to 154.
You know, you're in my top 4. You're in my top 4. So I'll be honest, I'll tell you on camera what I've got. So I do have Katie, Clarissa, I have Serrano, and then I have you.
Okay.
Is that a bit unfair? Is that what?
Did Serrano lose her last fight?
She did.
She has a lot of vacant
Rick,
belts.
You know, Rick's behind her. She's got like 8 weights, Rick. She's an 8-weight world champ. I can't remove her, Rick. I can't.
I will say that fighting Cecilia Brackos for the second time was the only time, well, the first time that I had fought for a vacant belt, and that was the ring belt, and that's because I made her vacate it. There's a lot of fighters out there that will say, like, hey, you want to fight for this belt that's vacant? And then they make a fight, and then they win, and it's like, you know, you should really fight decent opposition to get those belts. It shouldn't just be signed off to kind of anybody. That's all I'll say to that.
I say that Chantel is definitely decent opposition. You beat Chantel, you got higher. Say that now. Good luck on Saturday. Should be an absolutely fantastic one. Really is. Jessica McCaskill versus Chantel Cameron. Undisputed at 140, which means all the marbles are on the line. Someone's going to go home with all that pot of gold. Could be this lady. Make sure you watch it live on DAZN this Saturday. Female boxing right now is on the crest of a wave, isn't it? We've had so many massive fights, so many really good fights as well. This is right up there with them. You know what it is? I feel Jessica McCaskill's almost been forgotten for some reason in the discussion, right? She's undisputed at 147 pounds, beat Cecilia Brackos to become that. Why does no one talk about Jessica McCaskill like we talk about Clarissa and Amanda and Katie?
Well, I think mainly it's been Katie Taylor and Clarissa Shields. They've been the ones we talk about, which is the greatest woman of all time, and obviously, you know, and Amanda Serrano's came into the conversation. But you're right, it's sort of disrespectful for Jessica McCaskill. I think when she unified the title first time round against Cecilia Brackos, it was a controversial fight the first one.
Agreed.
But she made it right in the second one. There was no dispute in that one, that's for sure. And I think then she should get more respect. She is a fireball. Honest to God, she is a nightmare for anybody to go up against. And it's the toughest night of Chantel Cameron's career.
Yeah.
By a million miles, this is the toughest night.
Yeah, Chantel's been waiting for her big opportunity. Obviously, she beat Mary McGee nearly a year ago and expected it to be Callie Reese. Obviously, Callie Reese is no longer fighting. She's decided that that's not for her for medical reasons. I think this is a tougher fight than Callie Reese.
No, of course.
Callie Reese is probably a better boxer, but in terms of, as you said, a fireball, Jessica McCaskill brings everything.
But the problem with Jessica McCaskill is she's an undeniable force. You have to stop her from marching forward. Yeah. Many have tried and failed. You know, Katie Taylor, won, but she had
that was a hard night's work as well.
It was a nightmare, wasn't it? In the York Court, I was there, and it was a really hard night for it. So she's difficult to stop. You need a solid jab. Now Cameron's got a really good jab, but it needs to be more of a ramrod jab. So she's got to put more weight in it, anchor that front foot in, and really make Jessica McCaskill think before she fires. Because once McCaskill gets that forward momentum,
it's difficult to slow her down.
She's all over.
There is no reverse gear in McCaskill.
No,
I've noticed there is no back foot fighting. Not because she can't do it, because she doesn't need to do it. Because, as you say, her force is almost undeniable. There's been a lot of talk about Katie Taylor fighting at Croke Park. Right, the ideal opponent is Amanda Serrano. Katie Taylor fought last weekend. I spoke to her, and Chantel Cameron's name came up as a possible opponent as well if she becomes undisputed.
And it's a big if, let's be honest. But it's achievable. I would say that. She does have a good jab. tenacious herself, Chantal Cameron, and can be quite aggressive. So it's a great fight. For that much. I think they will meet head to head at some point. But I do think it's Cameron who's going to have to use the smarts more. A solid jab, move around the target a little bit more than she normally would, and just if you can make Jessica McCaskill keep turning, that will slow down the momentum, and that will give you more chance to let your shots go. I think Cameron's capable of that. If she can do that, then I'm quite confident she can get the win.
You know, earlier you said Bivol was 60-40 in favour, right?
Yeah.
Where do you see it in this one?
Yeah, I'm useless at math. I would say about the same, and I would
in favour of Chantal.
I would, yeah. I just think the fact that when you go up and down in weights, and then you come back down in weight again, which is what McCaskill's done, that has an effect on your body, I feel. And coming back down in weight, even though she might be physically look the smaller, coming back down in weight might just give Cameron the edge. Yeah,
it should be a cracking fight. Look, that's another world title fight. That's not enough. It was 2 world title fights. We got a 3rd world title fight as well. The vacant IBF super featherweight title was on the line. Rakhimov versus Zelfa Barrett should be a cracking fight. I caught up with Zelfa Barrett a bit earlier. They always say stay ready as opposed to get ready, right? You've been staying ready for a long time. You only got 6 weeks notice for this fight. And look, I'm not saying that as a thing, as an excuse, but normally you want your 8 or 10 week fight camp.
Doubt.
Yeah, what's it been like? How hard has this 6-week fight camp been?
You know what? Luckily for me, being an athlete, been in the gym, been sparring, been sharp. So I was trying to get a fight before a fight. I meant to fight December 10th, so I tried to get another fight in what was it, like October time. So I've been in the gym, and as soon as we got the call, we just changed the sparring from orthodox. We were sparring anyone who come in the gym to spar, and then we just changed it up. And you know, I lived a life, so luckily for me, there's no like doubts in my head. Fitness that's one of my best assets. You know, being fit, not my skills, my fitness and my mindset. So we just grinded, and things happen for a reason. You know, sometimes when you have these long camps, you overthink things, and you know, could he do this? Could he do that? We've had a look at him. We've seen what he can do. Don't get it twisted. Like, it will be different for him, because I'm not Joe.
True. Completely different styles.
So styles make fights, and it's him adapting to me. You get me? Because he was adapting to somebody else, and then now all of a sudden he has to adapt to me.
Finally, just as we wrap, what would it mean for you to become a world champion, especially when you think of the last 18 months, how difficult they've been for you, your mum passing, you being a father.
Yeah, man.
What would it mean on the day for David Diamante to say,
and
the
God.
new?
I keep hearing it. When I'm running, when I'm chilling, I just hear that American accent. No, listen, it's a sign of relief. It's a sign of we've done it. You know, it's a sign of, and getting good pimples now, it's a sign of I done it the hard way. So nobody can't take this away from me. Nobody can't say, and I've just beat a good fighter, so no one can't say it was an easy fight, it was this. I've just accomplished everything. And I can look at everyone in the boxing world and be like, I knew it was world class. I just needed something to prove it. That's all I needed. And you know, when I win Saturday night, it's just a sign of relief, and it's my stamp to say, listen, you know, I'm a one-off. You know, not many fighters come from the platform I come from and make it right to the top. Not many do, you know, and you hit the nail on the head. They limit the thing where you want to be, I just want to be British champion. No, man, that's this the big ocean out there. Don't be in this little pool. So, you know, I'm excited and I'm ready and I'm super confident. I believe in myself. You know, I don't talk a lot, but I believe in myself so much. I believe anything he can do, I can answer. And I can tell you why. If you had an hour, I'll sit you down and tell you why.
I wish we did, but my producer's giving me that little look. Damn. You know that finger of wind up. He's giving me that wind up finger as we speak. Zelfa, good luck on Saturday. Zelfa Barrett versus Rakhimov for the vacant IBF super featherweight title. You can tell he's dressed for the occasion. It's going to be a good one on Saturday. Make sure you tune in live on DAZN. Zelfa Barrett, in very, very confident mood, right? He spoke about, you know, not having to get ready, that he stays ready. Looks in great spirits, looks in great shape. But Rakhimov is a very, very difficult opponent.
It's a hard ask. It really is. You know, I think Rakhimov is just, again, 100 miles an hour. It seems to be the theme of the show, actually, doesn't it? He really is. But he's clever with his work, because when he gets close to you, Rakhimov, he doesn't stay in front of you. He moves around the target. So he gives a different angle, which means if you want to fire back, you've got to turn your body. That takes half a second or less, but it's enough time for him to throw. And if you square yourself up, you're open to get hurt. So he'll move around the body, he'll come right at you, hands high, blocking shots. Looks quite basic, but he'll move his head side to side, and so he's a hard target to hit than you think. You need to be athletic with a good jab. Zalfa Banat is that.
Athletic and a good
He
jab.
is that, but you need to have a bit of strength in your work, and I'm not quite sure that Zalfa has that to keep him at bay.
Yeah, that's been my question. When I saw this fight made, look, Zalfa we know has got an engine, we know he can go the distance, but I was like, you need to kind of detonate Rakhimov. You need to kind of land something that keeps him honest. And I don't know if Zalfa has the power to land something to stop this guy marching forward.
Yeah, so you go back to the Kiko Martinez fight, which is a really hard and very, very close fight, and you think, okay, Rakhimov's not the puncher that Martinez is, and he might not be as physically strong, but he still has that form of momentum, and probably with more smarts to get closer to the target. And I just think, Zalfa's going to fight a lot on the ropes, so he's going to have to keep turning the body all the time, pivot on the front foot. It's a big ask, but it's a world title shot out of the blue.
It should be difficult, shouldn't it?
It should be difficult.
It should be difficult.
And
this
it
is a
will
world
be
title.
difficult. Rakhimov is a massive favourite, you have to say that.
How do you think Joe Cordina would have gotten against Rakhimov? That's the fight that might be made after this one.
This was a harder fight for Cordina
than
the
Ogawa.
Ogawa fight. I think Ogawa was a bigger puncher, of course, but I think Rakhimov was stylistically and physically was a harder fight for Cordina.
Indeed. You know what's good to see here, and we've seen it now, promoters working with each other. Oscar De La Hoya's here, Eddie Hearn's here, working with each other as well, Golden Boy and Matchroom. Let's hear from both promoters, starting with Eddie Hearn. I said to you off camera, this is one of the best fight cards. You can tell, obviously, in social media, when you put the fight cards up and you look at the response, everyone's been positive about this one. Really is good.
Yeah, I think we're kind of living in an age at the moment that everyone's talking about why fights aren't happening.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning to a tirade of Errol Spence and Terence Crawford arguing about pay-per-view splits and gates and, accounting, reporting. I mean, at the end of the day, fans really don't want to hear it. I guess it's all part of, the drama of boxing, but this is what we love. Great fight cards, great fights. Dmitry Bivol, 20-0, pound-for-pound star against 44-0. Zurdo Ramirez, it's Matchroom, it's Golden Boy. It's a tremendous fight card from top to bottom, and I think this is a celebration of boxing this weekend after a few tough weeks on many different levels for everybody in boxing as we try and maintain what a wonderful sport this is and keep pushing great fights globally.
Yeah, Zurdo's almost that fighter where everyone thinks he could be the best light heavyweight. We just haven't seen him in against the elite, really. He gets his chance on Saturday. Tough fight for this one, for both, right? For different reasons.
Yeah, I think when Zurdo was at 168, I remember, we had Callum Smith there, and he was kind of regarded as the number 168 pounder at the time. He was WBO world champion. It still baffles me that he made 168 pounds. He's a monster at 175. I think before the Canelo Alvarez fight, a lot of people looked at this fight and said, this is a 50-50. But with the defeat to Canelo Alvarez, I think Bivol is a front runner for this fight.
Yeah.
It's just a different kind of fight. Obviously Canelo Alvarez is a much smaller fighter. Zurdo is a huge 175. A bit more pressure now on Dmitry Bivol, and people might think that's surprising when you face Canelo Alvarez, but no one gave him much of a chance outside of the industry.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, okay, you beat Canelo Alvarez, you need to show the world that you are a pound-for-pound star. But Dmitry Bivol's pulse never really goes over 40. He's ice cold.
Yes, he is.
And this is a new platform, essentially, here in Abu Dhabi. The Etihad Arena is going to be packed on Saturday night, the eyes of the world. So the pressure's on him now, because now he's the A-side fighter, he's the star. And I think there might be more levels to Dmitry Bivol.
Big opportunity for Zurdo Ramirez this weekend against Dmitry Bivol. Won't be easy, but world title fight shouldn't be easy.
Absolutely. Big opportunity for Zurdo Ramirez. He's been fighting in eliminators back-to-back, knocking out both guys. He's been fighting at 175 for a while now. He's a big puncher. He's a strong fighter. He's a pressure fighter. He's a southpaw. It's the perfect opportunity against a wonderful, amazing fighter in Bivol. I love his style.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
His movement is incredible. His footwork is unbelievable, actually. It reminds
if you're saying that, then it is.
It actually reminds me of a younger Oscar De La Hoya with that footwork. But look, I mean, styles make fights. I believe that Zurdo, the fact that he is not only hungry, not only determined, not only waiting for this opportunity, but he has the skill set. He has the height, he has the punch, he has the speed, he has the punch output, which is going to be very important.
You said some good words about Dmitry Bivol in the lead up to this fight. What did you make of his performance against Canelo?
I believe he was excellent with fighting Canelo. A Canelo that was one-dimensional. A Canelo that was only throwing one punch at a time. A Canelo that is not a big light heavyweight. A fighter who was trying to knock him out with one punch, right hand, left hook, very predictable. I strongly feel that that Bivol does have all the confidence in the world going into this fight, but we have to get one thing straight here, is that he is not fighting a Canelo.
You're looking in great shape. Are you planning on stepping back in there for one or two more?
No, I wish.
Yeah?
I wish. As much as I train, as much as I want to come back, the mind tells me, let's do it. You can fight for another world title or beat anybody in the game, but physically it's impossible. I have the desire, I have the heart, I have the discipline, but physically I'm an old man.
Not even one of those, what does Floyd Mayweather call these, exhibition fights?
No, not even an exhibition fight. Look, Floyd Mayweather and other fighters have been active, have stayed in the gym. I took a different route. You know, I when I retired from boxing, I was happily retired and living the life.
As you should. You
as
deserve,
I should, of
you
course.
Deserve to,
You know, after winning 11 world titles
I
in
think
6
if anyone can
weight
enjoy
classes,
life, it's you.
Then I deserve to enjoy my
Having
life.
fought everybody.
Thank you. But it's about time to let these young kids have their shine on the stage. And look, boxing right now is thriving. Boxing right now is at the highest level. Watching these great fights happen, and if we do get Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, Errol Spence and Crawford, boxing is not only in the uprise, but boxing is bigger than ever.
It certainly should be. Oscar De La Hoya, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Big one. It really is a big one this Saturday. As Oscar said, whoever wins this one has a claim to be the #1 light heavyweight on the planet. Is it going to be Bivol? Is it going to be Ramirez? Make sure you tune in live to DAZN on Saturday to find out. Before we go, here's a reminder of what's coming your way on the main card this Saturday night. We start with a bantamweight clash as Cal Yafai returns. He takes on Gerald Pakla. Then it's Galal Yafai's turn as he makes the first defense of his WBC International Flyweight belt. He takes on Mexicans Gohan Rodriguez Garcia. Zelfa Barrett State with Destiny is next as he challenges Rakhimov for the vacant IBF Super Featherweight crown. All the super lightweight marbles are on the line when Chantel Cameron and Jessica McCaskill go head-to-head in their chief support. Then it's the main event that we've all been waiting for this evening as Dmitry Bivol and Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez meet for the WBA World Light Heavyweight crown. Barry, how good is it to see promoters getting on, right? I mean, we're in a boxing world right now where promoters don't talk, fighters aren't being made. Finally, we're seeing Oscar and Eddie talk, and it's good, right? The boxing world benefits from it.
Of course it does, and so do they, because, you know, the more big fights are made, the more fans we'll get. And then they benefit more than anybody. But more importantly, you know, the boxing fans get to see the fights that they want, and they deserve.
Yeah, long may it continue, fingers crossed. Look, if 3 world title fights weren't enough, we've got the Yafai brothers in action as well. So good to see Kel back. We haven't seen him now for nearly 3 years. It's good to see him back. He's looking good as well.
He is looking good. You know, I think after the Gonzalez defeat, there's no shame in that, by the way. He needed a bit of time off, just to regroup, and he took longer than what we thought. But he's back, and I still think he has. No, he's on the wrong side of his career, possibly.
In terms of age, yeah.
Yeah, but I think he has enough time on his side, and I think enough in the locker to still make an impression. And as for Galal,
wow.
Turns pro in a 10-rounder against a really good kid. The second fight was a really good kid, and tonight he has another Saturday night, I should say, he has another good opponent. So I think he's on a fast track in a horrible weight. By the way,
yeah, well, fly, super fly, whatever, anything around that's horrible, right? Is that the problem with Galal? Eddie's sort of started them up so high, you can't go backwards now.
No.
So people are going to be asking for world title shots in 2023, which sounds crazy because you look at the guys in that division, but that's what he's been set up for.
The problem is he's an Olympic gold medalist, so he's going to be fast-tracked. Yeah. He's also 29 years of age, and for that weight, that means you can't have the apprenticeship that others maybe are allowed. So he had to be fast-tracked. I just think they went a little bit too quick, too soon. But he believes in himself. They believe in him. When he gets there, unfortunately, he got some tremendous fighters around him. But you think if he keeps winning, he's only another 12 months off it.
Galal Yafai versus Sonny Edwards. I'm calling it now, summer 2023. I'm calling it. It's on camera. I'm calling it. Barry, thank you very much. Look, it should be an absolutely fantastic night of boxing. It always is. I tell you now, it always is. Especially when there are 3 world title fights on the line. The main one, honestly, people, make sure you tune in for it. You don't want to miss it. I'm there. Barry's there. The whole team's there. Should be a good night of boxing.
The champion. Fearless. Hungry. Born for the bright lights.
Dmitry Bivol, boxing perfect fight.
The challenger.
Easy work for the big Mexican.
Ruthless.
44-0.
Relentless.
Unbeaten.
Ready for the challenge.
Ramirez has Dmitry Bivol on his mind.
On November 5th, undefeated rivals come face to face.
And now Bivol, hard right hand. Target practice, Ramirez. Bivol now picks up the pace.
2 perfect records. One must fall.